What I'm about here is winning. And that, at the end of the day, is the only thing that's going to make an impact for us in this country. What I mean by winning is getting conservatives into office. Now, here's the challenge that I think Senator Hoeven runs into. He's in the minority. So as much as he may want to stand up, pound his chest, and scream at these people, you and I both know that if we're going to be effective people of influence, we're going to have to try to find some sort of common ground and then influence them to begin to move back towards the right or towards the conservative, what I call political spectrum. But, in that situation, when you've got a majority of Democrats in the Senate, if you stand up and start using name calling, which they do to us, and again, part of that's political theater. I mean, these guys are going back behind the scenes and having their cigars and chit-chatting, and I don't say Senator Hoeven's doing this, but some of those guys, the guy out of New York, out of the Harlem district is, chuckling. I mean, he gets through this legal battle without really too many scars from what I remember. So I just think that there's got to be, and I think Senator Hoeven is very diplomatic. Clearly, he runs in the middle of the political spectrum, and he does a great job of, I think, gaining that balance. And unfortunately or unfortunately, John, whether you and I want to admit it or not, right now, the libs, because of the media, have moved us so far to the left on the political spectrum. So many people say to me, well, Chris, they've got to be these staunch conservatives. It's got to be this way or no way. Those people right now, because of where this country is at on the political spectrum, they just can't win. We look at the situation in Delaware. Everyone's blowing up what's happening there with Rove and O'Donnell and whatnot. Look, I've got a good friend of mine from Stanford that voted for Bush and then voted for Obama. Delaware is a much dimmer demography than North Dakota, and I don't remember the guy's name off the top of my head, but in order to win that race, put that person in, because the last thing we wanted was Coons, put that person into the Senate, and then you bring people like Senator Hoeven, DeMint, other conservatives in that caucus, if you will. Now we can move this guy that definitely had he had a liberal voting background, but now we can move him through influence and persuasion back to the right. So, John, I don't know if that answers your question, but I think we're at a position here where, again, if you read Cass Sunstein's book, and I'm not saying I like this, John, what I'm saying is this is the reality of the situation, is we can't walk in there and go from where we're at now, which I believe is leaning way to the left, and go way to the far right on the political spectrum. We've got to use Cass Sunstein's strategy against him and begin to nudge people back to the right.